In the zone, 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 podcast. In the zone, in the zone, in the zone, podcast. In the zone, in the zone, in the zone, podcast. In the zone, in the zone, in the zone, podcast. In the zone, in the zone, in the zone, podcast. 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 In the zone, in the zone, in the zone, podcast. In the zone, in the zone, in the zone, podcast. In the zone, in the zone, in the zone, podcast. In the zone, in the zone, in the zone, podcast. 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 In the zone, podcast.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy, Brian Foster. B Foster's in the building. Happy Wednesday. Happy to have you. Happy to be here. Didn't think I'd make it in this week, but I'm here and excited to do it.
You done traipsing around New York?
New York was a great time.
I love New York.
Great to visit. I could not live in that joint, though.
Why?
Man, goddamn, they mad.
I thought you were going to say it was dirty, but...
Oh, that too, but, I mean, they just mad.
I mean...
I'm walking here.
12 million people there. I get it.
Yeah,
in this tiny little island. Get the fuck out of my way. I get it.
No, that's just Manhattan. The rest of the shit ain't on no island.
That's my point. Everybody's in one little island fucking pissed off.
Oh, you mean when they coming to work or whatever?
Yeah.
No,
and then take that pissed off when they go to Long Island and shit.
I went to Queens. Them motherfuckers was mad. I went to the Bronx. That motherfuckers was mad.
That mad in Harlem, too?
They're pretty chill in Harlem, actually.
Because it's gentrified.
Yeah, because it's gentrified now. They took all our property.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, what's going on, y'all? Thanks for joining us. We are going to have, as you see, it's me and Sean again. We sick of you guests. This is me and Sean. We don't need y'all. No, I'm kidding. We'll have guests again soon. But
One day.
But we wanted to have this conversation because you all have been having it. Everybody seems to be hyper emotional about it, which is crazy to me.
Really hyper emotional?
Oh, folks are hyper emotional.
I mean, they're really hyper emotional about everything.
Yeah, but
this is a special type.
This is kind of like, I mean, just because of the topic, and it's never been hyper emotional before. Well, yes, it has when they were talking about should they get paid equal as NBA players. Anyway, we'll talk about that next. We have a clip for you. It's nice little long length, but it's gonna set the tone for the conversation about Caitlin Clark,
this motherfucker, really?
Angel Reese, and who's lifting all tides in the WNBA right now. Let's put them up, Jake.
You said it's polarizing, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
What does the definition of polarizing mean? It means there's one side or the other, right? If it's not polarizing, it's just a cheeky conversation. Mm-hmm. Polarization requires debate. It requires passion. People feel very strongly about opinions. They want to argue one side or the other. How did that happen? How did we get here? What she just said. the national championship game. We were not talking about Caitlin Clark before Angel Reese walked up to her, did this, and pointed to the ring. This is not my opinion. I lived it. I watched it. It was recorded. It was broadcasted live. We were not talking about Caitlin Clark before that moment. And that's okay, because you can be extremely talented and not interesting. There are a lot of extremely talented athletes and games and series and sports that we don't talk about daily on this show because the public has not shown enough interest in them. That moment launched their careers. And when we started talking about it, I said it then, and it has all played out as I said it would. Well, I didn't know they were going to match up again in the tournament. That kind of broke my way. But this is Bird and Magic. It's not a perfect comp, but it is the path in which launched this conversation, this polarizing conversation that has everyone captivated. Sometimes something interesting has to happen that sparks an interest, that brings attention. Did Caitlin earn the attention by being a great player? Yes. Was Angel Reese in her face doing that because she was winning a national championship, which Caitlin was not doing? Yes. They both needed each other in that moment. It created the conversation. And then, as I said it would, it launched a great platform for this year's tournament, which was very heavily watched, the most ever. And Caitlin came back better than she was the year before. And LSU was good again. And then they matched up again. And then Iowa won this time. And then they both went into the draft. And now they are both in WNBA, and we care about both of these players. There are a lot of people that care about Angel Reese. That doesn't mean she's as good as Caitlin Clark. It also doesn't mean that what she's saying is not true, because multiple things can be true at the same time. Everything in life is not existing in a vacuum. Just because she said this does not mean that Caitlin Clark is not great and that people are not watching because Caitlin Clark is great. All she is saying is, and she is factually correct, the two needed each other. She was a part of that. And it's inarguable because that is what happened. We were not talking about Caitlin Clark on these shows. We were not debating women's sports and women's basketball on these shows before that moment happened. So what she's saying is true, and multiple things can be true at the same time.
Go ahead, brother.
You wanna go?
Somebody got followed.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm gonna speak from my point of view, right? Because you said we weren't really following the game until they had the arguments, whatever, right? But I wasn't really a huge fan of WNBA, right? I would watch here and there some certain players, but I wasn't like really in tune. But then once I seen Caitlin play, right, before the hand motions and all that, I'm like, dang, is that Steph Curry with a ponytail? That's what I thought, right? So before anything happened with LSU or Iowa, the girl got my attention for the way she was playing the game, scoring 30, shooting threes like it was, I never seen nothing like that before. So that's how I got involved in the game, right? So that's what I seen. So then when we talk about like Angel saying that she had a part of it, you are right about that. She did. I think she really searched for that attention, right? If you really watch what was going on, when Caitlin even did all this, that wasn't even to that team. It was a whole different team. When they played each other, she was seeking for it. She kept trying to find her to do this, to get the attention. Like when I watch these girls play, and I feel like myself and everybody else is really watching the women play now, they want to see Caitlin play basketball, right? I feel like all the attention that she earned from playing basketball between the games, shooting threes, scoring points, leading the NCAA and scoring. I think Angel, she's a cool player. I think most of her attention she's earned from outside of the game. When I watch her play, I mean, does that look special? You think people who are coming to tennis to see some rebounds? She averaged 11 points. Let me get the numbers for you guys, because so much we're talking about here.
8.9 rebounds.
Cool. So 11 points per game. That's the fifth highest on her team, right? And then she averaged nine rebounds. That's cool. So when we look at the attendance, like who's really watching the games, right? She says not just one person, it's both of us. So Angels team, right, in Chicago. And their attendance, 6,000, 6,000, 12,000, 9,000, 8,000, 8,000, and then 17,000. Whoa, why was it 17,000? Who she played? Who do you think she played? Caitlin Clark. Okay, let's look at the other girl, Caitlin. Let's look at her when they have their games. 17,000, 18,000, 17,000, 18,000, 19,000, 10,000, that's pretty low. 16,000, 15,000, 17,000, 17,000, 16,000. So I don't know if it's me or what it is, or these numbers are crazy, but everybody's coming to watch a superstar player. When I watch the games, when I see Chicago plays, I don't see no super crazy game playing defense for Angel Reese. Do y'all?
No.
Right? When I watch When I watch Caitlin play, they guard her everywhere. Guard her out of bounds when she's on the bench getting arrested. They guard her everywhere. So all I'm saying is, like, I get what she's saying, but she seek that attention, right? And another thing is, it's obvious she's jealous of Caitlin. Every interview, every tweet, everything's about Caitlin. I haven't yet to see Caitlin even respond to her yet. Have y'all?
No.
So when you asking me like, yo, I get it, everybody's watching women's basketball now, who's the real reason? Well, yes, you are right. Reese has a small amount of that, right? But the other real credit goes to Caitlin, not just because what she's doing outside the court and she's waving her hand on all that. It's because she's giving buckets in basketball, right? And she looks like Steph Curry. That's simple. And the last
All right, y'all. Usually we don't run clips that long. Usually they're a little shorter. But I think that really prefaced this conversation and sums up a lot of people's feelings. On the one hand, Joy Taylor is saying that, and she looked great saying it, by the way, saying that people weren't thinking about Caitlin Clark until the static with LSU and Angel Reese doing this, and that's what really pushed them into the national spotlight. Which is false, by the way. We were definitely talking about Caitlin Clark. She was already getting a lot of media attention. I was already watching her games because of the ESPN highlights. She wasn't watching until they were paying attention, but a lot of other people were. But I get what she's saying. It did elevate the conversation, absolutely. And then my man, I don't even know who that was. He's saying, hey, listen, sure, are people watching because of Angel Reese? Absolutely. Angel Reese is a popular TikTok and Instagram person. Some people are tuning in for her. Absolutely. But you saw them attendance numbers. Who they coming to see?
No, my question is, what were the attendance numbers last year versus this year?
What are they up? Absolutely.
I don't know because
they are. They're absolutely.
But
up.
how much though? Are we talking about another 200 people? Or are we talking about another 3,000?
I'm sure thousands more people are coming to.
Then
to
okay.
games.
It may not be 17,000.
Well, we're saying, but
people
okay.
are interested because of
you're
that.
missing the point.
What's the point?
We're not saying that Angel Reese isn't bringing folks to the screens in the stadium. We're not saying that.
Okay.
What we're saying is she ain't bringing them like Caitlin Clark.
That's fine.
That's the point. That's the point.
But okay.
So, anyway, we had a set of questions. Let's get into them. But that video was setting the tone for what we're about to discuss and what all of you have all been discussing anyway.
Where you want to start? Because my question, my very first question,
What's your
even
question?
just digging with these numbers, like why Angel Reese, 8,000, 7,000, 10,000, 12,000 one time they jumped, and it went back to 876, right?
Right.
Caitlin is 17, 18, blah, 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 blah. Why is Caitlin, I mean, is her game really that dope? Because I hear it's very mixed about her style of play.
So, is she that dope? I will say this. The way she plays, I've never seen a female play like this before. Not like this. I'm not saying I haven't seen amazing female basketball players, because I have. Right? Cheryl Swoops was amazing. Tamika Catchings was amazing. Right? Cheryl Miller, we going that far back. Amazing. But the way she was shooting threes, and this is going to be indicative more, I think, of just gameplay in general, because this is the way the game is going, men's and women's. But the way she was shooting threes, the way she was dropping dimes, it was a joy to ball. And the fact that she's white doing it does not play a part in it. Let's be 100% honest about it. That's why she's the media darling. That's why she got so much attention. If this was some black young lady, it probably wouldn't be as big of a deal. But because she's white and she was out there killing, it became more of a story. Absolutely.
But why is that? Because I mean, the NBA is 70% black.
Mm-hmm.
I've been catching up and trying to get myself up to speed. Right?
Come on.
Why is her whiteness driving her forward, outside of the fact that she looks like most regular white girls out there? Because
she's outside of the norm of what's usually on the basketball court, and how the people that are on the basketball court play. You add up the way she plays, her impact on the game in college specifically. She's doing fine in the WNBA. She's fine in her way, but her impact on the game specifically in college and the way she looks, it brought my attention to the screen.
But she looks real like.
Don't nobody care. I'm not talking about her physical appearance. I'm saying the fact that she's white.
Okay.
That's it.
I'm here to ask the questions, right? Now,
Nobody's saying she fine.
somebody they really are not. So here's something interesting Tony brought up when he was talking about it. He brought up that her sexuality is also playing into this a little bit.
Do tell.
So his theory is that because everything you're saying, right? She's white, she's pretty homegrown, she looks like most stereotypical white girls, but the majority of the league is lesbian or bisexual. She, as far as we know, is straight.
We don't know.
No, she has a boyfriend. According to Tony, she has a boyfriend, right?
I didn't know that.
So
'Cause I don't care about none of that
He
shit.
has a theory that part of her hype is that she's a rare, right? She's white, she's homegrown, she plays the way she does, and she's straight.
Potentially, sure.
It's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I would think, and this might not be a WNBA thing because this would be completely ignorant two ways on the WNBA if that's the narrative they were trying to push out there. One is ignorant because it's just fucking ignorant, and two is ignorant because most of their players are, I'm gonna say most, a lot of their players are bisexual or lesbian, right? So to try to push or push out same-sex relationships or highlight somebody that's heterosexual to ignore the rest of your players that you're trying to hype up and make money off of would be just ignorant from a financial standpoint.
I mean, when has marketing ever been on the side of right? I'm just saying, like, it would make sense to me that maybe because her sexuality is ambiguous, maybe that's also driving it, or we just don't know.
I mean, maybe. I think because she has a boyfriend, I guess. She hasn't really dove into any of that I'm aware of. Maybe she has. But that's not, I mean, is that part of it? Maybe. But I think it's minuscule. I think the real part of it is she's white.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I don't personally get all this.
And let's flip the coin. Everybody, so I'm going to say this. And people have been attacking me behind this. I don't have anything against attacking. I'm being somewhat facetious. I don't have anything against Angel Reese. She plays for my Chicago Sky. I enjoy her Instagram page when I do peruse it. She's a fine player, right? I was happy when they drafted her.
I want everybody to admit why were y'all happy she got drafted?
No, I think she's a pretty good player.
That is not why y'all were happy she got drafted.
She's a baby. I'm not worried about looking at her like that. That's not my draw. Is she unattractive? No.
So we're not gonna be honest here.
No,
okay.
She's not. I mean, she's fine. Like she don't do it for me. You catch her on the right picture. She's a cutie.
That's fine. She may not be your type.
They're cuter players on the Sky.
That all may be true, but motherfuckers only care because she's
Some
cute.
people like because she wear a little one leg and she look thick, got a little booty. Sure. Do they care for that? Sure. I'm not saying her attractiveness, the black Barbie, right? The Chicago Barbie, does it play a part? Absolutely.
1000%.
Absolutely. But here's what bothers me about this conversation.
About her looks?
No.
No.
Well,
gonna be surprised.
I do hate that she gets regulated to her looks a lot, but outside her basketball abilities. But here's what bothers me about this conversation. Part of what bothers me is that folks aren't being honest. Folks love Angel Reese because she's a sassy black girl that said buck the establishment a little bit and got her some NIL deals, and she wear fancy little outfits on Instagram and they like that shit. And she black.
Okay. What's wrong with that?
Not a goddamn thing. That's why I like her. But she
I'm
is.
failing to see the problem
No. The problem is if you say anything about her that's not glowing, particularly if you're a male, now you're bashing. Now
you're misogynist.
You're misogynist. Now you only care about this, that, and the other. And y'all don't do this to NBA players, which is absolute garbage.
Y'all don't care about NBA players' looks.
I'm not talking about their looks. That's my point. You stuck on the looks. I'm talking about her as how she behaves, how she plays, right? Like, we break down every rookie in the NBA. They give a bad press conference, we on their ass. So the other day, she has a press conference after the whole.
Oh Lord, his PR be false coming on your way.
Damn right, you got damn right. That's what I do for it. She had a press conference after the whole. Caitlin Clark got knocked down thing. The biggest non-story in sports, by the way.
I agree.
Who cares? She got knocked down. Ooh.
Well, white people are real concerned. We can talk about that in a second.
Oh, my God. The think piece on the trib was disgusting, by the way. So, anyway, she don't show up for the press conference.
Oh, I know she did that.
She didn't show up for the press conference to have it. She got fined for not showing up to the press conference.
Okay.
Then, a couple of days later, here's the attitude. I mean, it's not just her that's getting people to the game. It's me too.
You know I saw the clip, right?
And
She didn't do none of what you just
She didn't
said.
chicken neck and roll her eyes.
No.
She absolutely rolled her eyes and had an attitude. She absolutely did in the beginning. Of course you don't. Y'all don't want to recall it.
Maybe I missed it.
Y'all don't want to recall it. And then she went on and had a better interview after that. I give her that. My point about it was she's because she talked about how she's the.
Jake, you mind trying to find that?
Yeah.
I don't recall her rolling
She
eyes.
definitely rolled her damn eyes. What are we talking about?
I said I don't remember.
Okay.
I'm old. Maybe I need ginkgo biloba to remember.
Yeah, you missed it. So then she went on had
I'm
a better
okay with
interview.
being wrong. Let's just look at the
Okay,
clip
I'm
and
gonna
I'll be
find
wrong.
it. But then my point about this is she's talking about how here's my issue with how she communicates sometimes. She plays victim and then plays tough. Or does the opposite of what she says she's gonna do. So I'm the bad guy here. They make it be out to be the villain, which they kind of are. That's the narrative.
And she said she was okay with that.
But she's not okay with it.
Well, duh.
So then don't say you're okay
She's
with it.
fucking 22. What do you
And
expect?
then, listen, I don't want to hear that shit. You are on a professional level now. Step your PR game up.
Is 20.
I get that she.
Is that like the shortest version?
I don't even remember. I don't even know if that was the part. But we'll figure it out. Anyway, she's 22 and she can
No,
grow.
that has to be it because we'll even look at the.
Yeah, she's 22 and she's going to grow. Absolutely. What I'm saying is, from a PR perspective, there was a simple way to answer that question that wouldn't have led into a 10-minute further discussion.
I'm not disagreeing with that part.
Hold
I
on.
didn't hate what she said, though. It's true.
It's not whether it's factual or not. That's what y'all are missing. It is the delivery that matters. It's the delivery.
I'm gonna remember this next time men tell women, it don't matter what I say. It only matters what I said. it don't matter how I said it.
Nobody.
It only matters what I said.
That's what women say. Get the fuck out.
Oh, no.
Women think.
Fuck that. There's an episode somewhere in the archives of two sitting here telling me that it shouldn't matter what the fuck I said.
Well,
how I said it.
You know, two.
The delivery
come
don't
on,
matter.
That's
It just
two.
matter what I
You
said.
can't be putting two on the rest of us. That ain't fair.
I'm just telling you.
That ain't
All right,
fair.
you go ahead and play the clip.
Let me see.
I think so many people are watching women's basketball right now. It all started from the national championship game, and I've been dealing with this for 2 years now. And understanding, negative things have probably been said about me, but honestly, I'll take that because look where women's basketball is. People are talking about women's basketball, but you never would think that we'd be talking about women's basketball. People are pulling up to games. We got celebrities coming to games, sold out arenas, just because of one single game. And just looking at that, I'll take that role. I'll take the bad guy role, and I'll continue to take that on and be that for my teammates. And if I want to be that, and I know I'll go down in history, I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that. It's not just because of one person. A lot of us have done so much for this game, and Kennedy has been here before, obviously, but there.
Then she went to, and I'm not disagreeing with her. My whole entire point was, here's how you handle the situation. Hey, listen. There's a lot of back and forth about y'all love this story about me and Caitlin. We were college rivals. We played in some intense games. I respect her immensely. I respect her game immensely. But when I'm between them lines, I'm trying to beat her ass. But we are excited as rookies, all of us, to come and bring attention to this game, to all these great players that were already here, right?
Okay.
We love them. They should have been getting this attention. If we can help get eyes on all the wonderful talent that's in this league, great. If y'all want to run with this, I'm the villain in this story narrative. I guess that's what you got to do. But I'm not the villain. I'm a competitor. I respect her. But when we're between the lines, I want to beat her. And all I want to do is see this game grow and see where we are in 10 years. And we're all helping to do that. It ain't just about one player. I'm doing it too. It's so self-fucking aggrandizing, right?
True.
Make it about everybody. If you want to get out the villain role, stop saying shit like that. That's all. As a PR person, that's what I would advise them.
I'm not going to argue whether her delivery was not the best, because it wasn't. But wait a minute.
And it's little tweaks. I'm saying it's little tweaks.
We give people
she's
grace for all.
I'm not giving her. I'm giving her advice, and this is where I get irritated by the conversation. I'm giving her advice. I'm saying, with a slight tweak here and there, She might be the actual face. She wouldn't, but she might be the face of the league.
You never know.
Yeah, but she might be. And everybody, she got more followers on. So we in New York.
That doesn't really matter, but
Doesn't really fucking matter. Here's why. I'm in New York. We go to a restaurant specifically while we're on a trip to watch the game.
okay.
We with our waitress is coming back and forth. She's like, "Oh, y'all watching this? What's this?" And we're like, "It's WNBA." Blah 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 blah. She's like, "Oh, I recognize that little girl. That's that Angel girl." And I was like, "Yeah." She was like, "Yeah, I follow her on TikTok. I ain't never watched her play." So what I'm saying is,
You don't gotta get no money.
No, get your money. This is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, people are trying to condense this conversation that she got more TikTok and Instagram followers. That don't necessarily translate to eyeballs.
Now, wait a minute.
Or butts in seats the way it has for Caitlin Clark.
Who is having a conversation at her Instagram? These are not extras
The
that's
media
saying
does
that.
this too.
Okay.
The media puts up, if you were watching the game the other day, it put up Caitlin Clark has 600,000 followers. Angel Reese has 1.2 million or whatever it is, whatever the numbers were.
So should we be mad at Angel? Or should we be
You're
mad
not-
at the media?
I'm not saying be mad at her. What I'm saying is people making that argument, it doesn't translate. I'm not saying she's
What
making that
argument?
argument that because she
has
got more followers,
I
she's
agree
bringing
with
more
you.
eyeballs.
But I'm just saying.
She's bringing more eyeballs though. Absolutely.
Caitlin?
No, she's bringing. I'm saying Angel's bringing more eyeballs to the game. Absolutely.
Definitely ones
Absolutely.
that don't watch the game, clearly.
Absolutely.
They only care about her hair and her lashes and her fits. Which I'm not even going to say that's necessarily a bad thing.
Not at all. Whatever gets you to the TV. Whatever gets bust in the seats. I don't
agree.
think it's a bad thing at all.
You just want her to hire a PR person?
I just think she, again, my two issues, and not with her specifically. Small tweaks, and she'll be on top of the goddamn world without being phony. People like, she changed, she phony. No, you're not. You could be polished a little bit and still get your point across and still be you and be authentic. Two, I don't like the fact that if you say anything about her, now you getting beat over the head like you a damn misogynist. Hold on, here's the other thing.
Y'all get really upset when women don't like y'all talking about us.
It ain't just women. It was men too.
Oh, calling you a misogynist? Wow, shout out to y'all. Y'all done grown.
It's
Okay.
what did my boy say? It's something cloaked in political crap. I can't even remember what, some bullshit. I can't even remember. It was complete utter bullshit. Like I'm not here to dog the girl, but I'm here to, both of them little girls to me because I'm old. I'm here to give them a little friendly advice because if I didn't care, I would say shit.
Did you consider that perhaps your delivery did not come off as advisory?
Can't tell how my delivery is. A lot of times you can't tell what a delivery is via text or
This is true.
messaging.
This is how the person
What
interprets it.
I specifically said was, damn, I wish I could be her PR person.
It's not too late.
Tip. Shit, I know. I did. Hey, anybody that knows Angel Reese, send this to her. Girl, I got you. I'm telling you, your people ain't doing you service.
She could also not be listening. She been an NBA player for a month.
She been getting trained in that LSU. But true. And again, to your point earlier, she's young. She'll grow. I agree.
She will.
I'm not saying that she won't. I'm saying these are little small things.
I don't think this is going to be an Allen Iverson situation.
If somebody got in her ear in the correct way and framed it right for her to get it, like completely get it, she take over this motherfucking league.
Honestly, she should just stop talking about Caitlyn.
Well, they won't let her stop talking about Caitlyn.
You could just start answering the PR person. You can start answering the question in such a way where the Caitlyn question becomes exhausting.
I just gave you the answer. I respect her. I appreciate her game. I appreciate the eyes she's bringing with me and the rest of our rookie class. And I hope to be the next time we play. And that's your pattern response.
See, that would get exhausting.
That's
or
what
I
I'm
would
saying.
probably say, you know what? Caitlyn didn't play today. The Sky actually to play today. So perhaps we could focus on the players who actually played today and gear the questions toward that. Because if she didn't play Caitlyn, what are we talking about here?
They don't ask her just random questions after games about Caitlyn. They don't. But she also can't do shit like tweet sub shots at Caitlyn because the Indiana Fever hadn't won a game and then delete the tweet.
You know,
this is the shit I'm talking
for somebody
about.
who's old, you got your finger on the pulse of what she is doing on social media.
I mean, it was a story.
You be old.
It was a news story.
Now, how do we know it was really a shot? I didn't see it, so I don't have nothing.
Come on. So
Let me look.
It's gone. You can't find it. It's gone. Somebody had posted something about Caitlyn's. She finally broke out for a 30-point game or whatever. And under that, she put like an L, but she still lost. That's not your. Why?
Cause wait a minute. Okay. Maybe I just don't understand the fundamentals of talking shit, right?
You can talk shit. What I'm saying is, you can talk shit, and then if you want to, as she said, embrace the villain narrative, then truly embrace it, right? And, okay, that's cool. But then don't
cry.
She clearly has an issue with it, though. It's not legitimate. It's not real. It's like when LeBron claimed he was cool being a villain in Miami. You know that sensitive motherfucker didn't? He hated that shit. He wants to be loved. She wants to be loved, and there's nothing wrong with that. But then you can't do villain type shit.
Putting an L under somebody's thing is a villain. Because there's a lot of villains in the zone. If they're talking shit,
so
it's
what?
gonna be a villain.
They are villains. It's a fucking
Should I
room.
start calling out names?
It's a room full of villains. What are you talking about? Chris is a villain. Jamal is a villain. Eric Young, I think I saw him pop up. He's a fucking villain.
Devin.
Tony's a villain.
Devin.
Paul's
Devon.
a villain.
Who's Paul?
Mario's a villain. Jay's a villain. All these dudes are awful. Dante, villain.
The thoughts and opinions of Brian Foster
And I love him.
are his and
I
his
love him.
only.
And I love him.
Don't
They still
bring that
villains.
shit to my fucking comments.
And I'm a fucking villain.
Or is Smith Jones a villain?
Oh, no, he's...
All right, we go. Okay, so we talked about what's wrong with what Reese said. So here's my question. Yes, you all like Caitlyn.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all like
Angel
looking
Watson.
at Angel. Fine.
You keep doing this looking at Angel
That's
thing.
just really the bottom line of
Well,
it.
that's because she ain't really that good quite yet.
Okay, fine. I'm not arguing that. I'm not involved enough to know whether either of them are good or not. But I do know.
Hold on. She's not ignorant. She's authentically her. We're talking about a young lady.
Why don't you read that
Okay,
loud?
if you don't want her to stop, Eric, if you like that, that'll turn certain people on. That's what attracts you to her, and that's cool. But that's going to limit her growth. Period.
I disagree.
There are going to be people that aren't going to like it. The
Fair.
people that already like it, like it.
But Brian, wait a minute. No, wait a minute.
It is. It's a fact.
Can I get a point out?
No. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
People are gonna dislike you or like you regardless of who you are. People
Facts.
don't. If you a goody two shoes, people go hate
Facts.
that shit. If you are fucking Evelina, people go hate
Facts.
that shit. To me, you need to pick your lane. If she's gonna be a villain, fully lean into it. I brought up Alice Iverson earlier.
It's not even really about being a villain, though. To your point.
I'm just saying, if you're gonna do the role,
To Eric's point,
do it all the way.
She's not vulgar. She's
not.
not ignorant.
She's not.
Well, ignorant is is per the
I
ear
don't
listening.
think she's ignorant.
She's not out here cursing and fucking sexy red. No. What I'm telling you is, though, you want this game to cross over. Mm-hmm. You want this game to appeal to the masses. And I'm not talking about just white masses. You want people to appreciate the players for who they are, right? And what they do. I'm not saying sell out. I'm not saying water all your shit down. What I'm saying, though, is you can be a little more polished and professional. And if anybody thinks that some of the things she does and says don't come off wrong or unprofessional, then you're not being honest. And here's the other part of the conversation I want to get into. Black folks love screaming, Caitlin Clark is only getting all this attention because she's white.
Which we've agreed is true.
Which we agree is true. The only reason a lot of these people ride and die with Angel Reese is because she black. And that's
The majority of the league is black. They would be
No,
right
no,
with
no.
everybody if that was the
They
case.
don't care. They have a certain attachment to this young lady.
I think it's because she's cute.
And whatever, so she cute. That's fine. That's fine. Admit that, though. Let's
I fucking said this shit 2 months ago.
Let's stop. But motherfuckers don't want to do it. Let's talk real talk. If you say I'm a ride and die with Angel Reese because she young, she black, she's authentic, and I don't give a fuck what she does wrong, she my ride or die. I respect that. But don't act like can't nobody dissect this girl's game or how she acts or what she says. Yes, she can. When Derrick Rose was stuttering all through fucking press conferences and we was dogging him, wasn't nobody coming to Derrick Rose's defense. Well, some people were because they just love Derrick Rose.
Again, you gonna get both. You gonna always have both.
But nobody was like, oh, how dare you? You can't talk about a young black man like that.
That was also like 15 years ago when
Well, who gives a shit?
things are different now. There are things you could say 15 years ago you cannot say now.
What? Yes, you absolutely can.
No, you can't.
We were dissecting his speech pattern, how he gave interviews, how inarticulate he was. And if the Derrick Rose was up there doing the same shit now, we would be in social media doing the same thing.
Unless he came back with some kind of speech impediment, then you all would be roasted for criticizing that man who had an impediment.
Nobody would care. You think
Yes, they would.
You think anybody on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook would care? They don't care about that.
People, You just said there are people on both sides, right? If
I'm
he's-
talking about the people that was roasting him. They gonna roast him
They're
regardless.
gonna do it, yes, but there will
We
be
already
people
know we already know Derrick Rose has some
Did he?
academic issues.
Yikes.
Nobody cared, and they roasted him.
Here's-
And I'm not roasting the young lady.
This is where I've landed. I think if she's gonna do this, she needs to land fully in it. I think we've always had villains, maybe not so much in the NBA. I don't know the WNBA very well, so maybe there are other villains. But there have been villains in the NBA, and you all have loved them. I believe Charles Barkley was a villain for quite a long time. I also think Karl Malone was villain-like. I would also recall Sir from the Knicks, the giant one, whose name is escaping me. That was
Patrick Ewing?
Thank you. I think
He was never a villain.
I don't know. It's been a long
He
time.
was never.
But my point is, there've always been villains.
Sure.
And they were beloved villains.
Sure.
So why can't she then become a beloved villain?
Listen. I'm not saying she can't.
And none of us could talk, by the way.
She's
just
already
FYI.
beloved. So let's.
So I say lean into the villain
So,
shit.
but
I say load up the comments with
I will
L's.
give you the LeBron Miami analogy. He tried to lean into the villain thing after when he made the decision and Mark started hating him, and he's like, "Fuck it, I'll be the villain," right? And he couldn't do it. It's not how he's built. I don't think it's how she's built.
Okay, maybe.
I think she's boisterous. I think she's competitive, right? I think she talks a little shit, which I like. Like I like the whole hand thing. Like you want to do that shit? Cool. Ring, hand. I was down for all of that. I was down for all of that. But you gotta then understand how certain people are gonna view it, and not complain about it. You can't say, here's another push. You can't say, don't sexualize me, and then every time I see you, you got a skirt up to your hooch and a bra top on. You sexualizing yourself.
That's like saying if I wear a bikini on the beach,
Not
that
true.
I can't. That
Not
you
true.
can sexualize me.
Not
That's
true.
crazy.
You.
Or if I wear a tight black dress to a party, I'm giving you license to sexualize me.
You are, motherfucker.
No, absolutely not what I'm doing.
But you're sexualizing yourself.
It depends on how I see it. I may not see it as sexual.
Then you're not being realistic.
You know, that's kind of.
And
you
I'm
have
not
to look at it for yourself. If I don't
Fine.
feel sexualized, I don't feel sexy, then I'm not sexualizing myself. That's how that works. These are all things we take on ourselves. Like that's not how any of this works. Because there will be people that see me and be like, I don't see anything sexy about
Listen,
this.
hold on. I get what you're saying. Let's be realistic about the world, though. People, we always put these glowing rose glasses. I'm not saying
No,
that.
but that's just the truth.
I'm not saying that is right. I'm saying what's real. I'm saying what's real.
That if she
you
wears a sparkly top?
If you walk into the arena every day in high heels and a bikini, and people point out that every day you wear high heels and a bikini and kind of sexualize you, you gotta know that's what's gonna happen.
More than a PR person, Angel, you need to get somebody to help you learn how to walk in your shoes. That's my advice for you.
I'm not
That
saying
was such a travesty.
Well, I ain't in that. I ain't in that.
Oh my gosh, she looked
I
like
ain't-
she was going to topple over.
It might have been that. Maybe she didn't break those shoes in. They might have been
No,
new
first of all,
shoes.
they were incredibly tall, and she don't know how to walk
maybe
in
they
them,
were incredibly
which is not
tall.
even an unfair. She walks around in basketball shoes all the time.
Yeah, maybe they were incredibly tall. That happens.
They were, and I was like, "Girl, don't do that." They were. It was dreadful. She looked cute though.
Was this the other day?
Yeah, what she
Sunday?
had on the side cutouts and the glasses and the
The
ponytail.
silver outfit. I'll admit she was looking kind of good there. She don't really do a whole lot for me.
She stopped. Hold my phone.
Pose. That's right. As she should. Because that's what puts real money on the table.
I agree.
So do
Kayla
that.
need to get some on that too, but you know she's still trying to figure out her look.
What Kayla go do?
Oh, she wore Prada to her.
She got to wear turtlenecks. Ain't a lot helping her. That's
First of all, Caitlyn could be cute. She just needs to judge herself.
I mean AI is a motherfucker.
I didn't say create a bot. That's not what I said at all. Little makeup, little hair will make all the difference. Is Meg sexualized or does she sexualize herself?
Both.
Both. I would have to ask her the second part because I can't answer that. But do people sexualize her? Yes.
And she
Because y'all sexualize her in her jersey.
She sexualizes herself. Come on, let's stop it. Stop it, Chantel. Stop it. Did Little Kim sexualize herself?
Well, that's different.
What's different?
First of all, Little Kim talked about sucking dick and was
I'm talking about
tweaking her nipples
I'm
on
talking about what
videos
she-
and patting her pussy.
I'm talking about what
yes, she was sexualizing herself.
What she wore, how she moved. Look, come on now.
Again, Little Kim
Does Sexy
was-
Red sexualize herself?
These you talking about women who pat their pussies on camera?
Okay.
Yes, they're
So
sexualizing themselves.
so you have to touch yourself in order to be shit. You have to touch yourself in order to sexualize yourself?
Yes.
What the fuck kind of rules are these? This is a whole other show. We just spun off. Hold on a second. Let me get this straight.
Yes.
You gotta pat your JJ. That's the only way you can sexualize
I
yourself.
didn't say that's the only way, but that's a very overt way. Like, look at this puss. Yeah, you kind of you're trying to be looked at as a sexual.
Thank you, Eric.
The NBA has an entire marketing department which they fear.
And I'm talking about Eric's Meg's biggest song, Big Old Freak. Come on. What are we talking
That's
about?
Meg the Stallion.
That's what we're talking about. I said Meg.
Oh, I'm still on Angel. Sorry, my bad.
I wasn't.
My bad.
We were talking about Meg.
My bad.
We had shifted.
My bad. Meg. Yeah.
All right, okay. I'm just making sure we ain't.
My
far
bad.
too
I
far
still
deep
had
in.
Angel in my brain,
No.
so I.
No.
Meg. Yeah. I mean, she twerks. She spent like 2/3 of her concert twerking. Yeah.
I'm just making sure
And
we
talking about her bisexual
I'm just making sure we hadn't completely lost vision here. That's all I was making sure. All right.
Oh my God.
What other questions? we
The
got in?
Stephen A. Smith interview.
All right. Do we have that, Jake? By the way,
I don't think he has it ready and queued up.
that's all right. The Stephen A. Smith. We don't.
But
Everybody.
you can find it very quickly.
Everybody saw it. We don't need to play shit.
But
You talking about when he was talking to
when
Monica McNutt?
fucking gave him the business.
Monica read that fool.
She fucked the fuck. I didn't even know who the fuck she was. I was like, yeah,
Oh,
damn.
now you making Steven's point though.
I don't watch him, so
Okay.
I would never watch it. I don't watch
So
ESPN.
for people,
I have no idea
that
who
didn't
are.
see it, people that didn't see it, there was a conversation about this foul and blah 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 blah, all this other stuff about the league and whatever. And Stephen A. Smith basically was trying to present himself as the person that the biggest champion for women's sports on TV.
Is that what he was saying during that?
That's essentially what he said. Now, I will say this. Stephen A. Smith does have conversations about the WNBA and some other sports that other people don't. Not frequently, but he did do it.
Okay.
He did do it. I will give him that. And he does. His show does put on a lot of really young black sisters that were in the league,
What that got to do with the point
including
at
Monica
hand?
McNutt. That had shit to do with what she was saying.
I
though.
know. That's
I'm just saying that his points, I get where he was coming from, but he was 100% off base on what he said because that wasn't the topic of the conversation. The topic of the conversation was you out here acting like you put the WNBA on, and she said basically you could have been having these 20-minute conversations we having right now, but you follow in the suit of everybody else, just like everybody else. So let's not play the I'm the WNBA savior game here.
Is that what he was doing?
That,
Because
I mean,
didn't see all that part.
he wasn't. I mean, that wasn't overtly what he was saying, but that was the undercurrent. Who talks more about the WNBA than Stephen A. Smith? Who does I
don't understand how you all watch that motherfucker, quite frankly. But
he's mad
that's just
irritating.
me.
And what was funny about it was she said that moving in that sports world space as a woman, as a black woman, is so difficult. And we already know that in the sports world, it's amazingly difficult.
Did she mean as an NBA player?
No. As a woman
okay.
in the sports world, the media, broadcast media sports world.
Okay.
How difficult it is to move around, get on, prove your worth,
I can see that.
all that blah blah, all that good stuff. 100% right. 100% right. Him and
Shannon Sharp.
country
Shannon
coon ass Shannon Sharp. What about black men? God damn.
Why is somebody starting to say we're not talking about them right now?
And as a former pro Hall of Fame athlete, the game in the sports media world is different for you. So it was a poor analogy. It was even stupid to bring it up. And Stephen, that's right. What about black men? We're not saying it's not hard for us in that arena as well. What she was saying was it's harder for them. And then they got off on that tangent, and then she read his ass and said, you could have been doing this 3 years ago on your platform if you really wanted to. And a lot of people she can't say that to because they don't run their own show. They're not executive producer of their own show.
Right, but she can
they
say
got to
that.
do whatever they got to do to stay. And to his defense, having a 20-minute segment on WNBA 3 years ago probably would have got the channel switched. But if that was really in your heart and that's what you wanted to do, he had the power to do it, is what she was saying.
Absolutely.
And he took 100% offense.
I mean, shit, he could have did it last year.
He could have did it last year. But he followed the media's lead and did what needed normal. The shit became a story. ESPN wanted to push a narrative, and he followed suit. I get it. I'm not even blaming him for it.
I mean,
But then don't come on here like, you know. I mean, you doing some good shit, but she had a point.
I mean, look, I didn't particularly appreciate his response to it because it totally deflected from the point at hand.
It was like Wonder Woman. That boy was like Wonder Woman. He was blocking.
And it low-key was saying that Monica and the other women were a bit, what's the word I'm looking for? Ungrateful? A bit? Because he gave them a chance, and how the fuck you gonna come on here telling me I'm not doing this shit right?
What's funny
when
is
I gave you a chance.
What's funny?
I was like, man, that's
What's funny is
not above reproach.
I don't.
Damn, why
look,
Shannon gotta be stupid?
Now hold on. Here go, Renita. Here go another one. Renita ass don't care nothing about no
Snow
damn.
White now facing.
Hey daughter,
Renita appropriate.
Renita ain't said shit about the WNBA, not never. But now Snow White and her inappropriate conference in the press
Snow
conference. Caitlin Clark.
Why she getting suspended?
She not. I don't even know what inappropriate comment she's talking to.
Maybe it just happened while we were on air.
But this is another one. You know Renita ass.
Perhaps.
Renita and white women don't really match. So we get it.
I feel
we
her
get
on
it.
that.
We get it.
But yeah, it was just totally dismissive of the fact, and to me it made it sound like Monica was ungrateful with the spot.
Well, the problem,
which I was just like,
right. Well, what he did was he was like, after Daddy fed you, you gonna bite Daddy's hand. That's basically what he was doing.
Fucking parents do that shit.
That's
We're real bad at that.
That's what he was doing. And then to throw Molly in, and Molly ain't even say shit.
He got to make the stupid ass point. Again, I don't understand how y'all listen to him. He's so fucking annoying. But
It's him or Skip Bayless.
That's the options?
It ain't a whole lot of morning sports TV.
Ain't the little dude that's on the Pivot podcast? Ain't he on ESPN sometimes?
Not at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, I don't know. I don't watch these things.
No,
I'm
just
usually
saying.
trying to rest and meditate in the morning. If I have to go to work. All right. I guess the next thing we want to get into, or you want to get into, and I feel like this is going to be a much longer, in-depth conversation.
Let's talk about it.
Are players and the fans of the WNBA being short-sighted?
So,
And I think because I asked the question when she said that, like,
Come on.
what do you mean by that? And I think you need to get into the details and the undercurrent of what you mean by short-sighted.
So Ryan Clark's the man, by the way, Eric. By short-sighted, I mean let's be honest here. Players in the league, and when I say target, I don't mean they're overly roughhousing Caitlin Clark. She getting rookie treatment as she should. But they are covering. They do feel away. You can tell they feel away.
I don't hate successful black men.
Why do you acknowledge Jamal?
I'm sorry. My fault. I'm sorry, Jake. I'm sorry, Brian.
Thank you. Why did you acknowledge him? Now he gonna say 100 more things. God damn it. What's up, Jab? But by short-sighted, they definitely feel away. And let me say this. I get why they feel away. I'm a black woman that was a 2-time All-American and maybe a national champion, one of the best players in the league, and I ain't been getting no shine. I ain't getting no Sports Center. I ain't getting no first take, right? I get that they feel away as black women about this white woman being elevated so quickly, so highly, so emotionally. I get it. I 100% agree with it. I get why you have, as competitors, I 100% get it.
Okay.
However, sometimes you got to check some of that and look at the bigger picture. The bigger picture is she's bringing these eyeballs to the sport right now, and you got to capitalize on that. High tides rise all boats. I'm not saying they shouldn't compete against her. I'm not saying they should let her go off or some of this other silly shit people have said. What I'm saying is they're missing the long game.
Well, what is the long game?
The long game is everybody making more money. Everybody
That's
is.
not guaranteed just because Caitlin's there.
It's not guaranteed, but it's not going to hurt. The long game is, I'm saying ride this wave.
Okay.
And then there'll be another wave when Shorty from USC comes out, whose name escapes me right now, Juju. When she comes out.
Juju. I thought she was at Connecticut.
No.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right. When she comes out, she's gonna be another one that's gonna get a lot of love, right? You ride these waves. Just because she happens to be white, it irks you, and I get it. Can your paycheck go up? Can your sponsorships go up? Indiana Fever, y'all ain't defending this little girl when she get knocked down. Y'all getting first-class flights when you was riding Spirit next to me last month.
You know what's funny? Somebody actually mentioned that. Who was that? Matt Barnes was pissed at the Fever, like when Caitlin's getting knocked down, that none of them come and help pick her
When
up.
she got knocked down, what's her name that was passing the ball and they got drafted first last year out of South Carolina. Her name escapes me right now. She just kind of looked at her. She went to go help her up, but she didn't run. Like, there was no, like, pushing my player, whatever. Oh, now, also, getting a little bit on a tangent, when, what's her name, knocked her down, Angel Reese popped up off the bench and screamed like, yeah, yeah, yeah. You can see it in the video.
I did see that. She needs to just lean into this villain thing.
Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Ride the wave. All these things help the league.
But I gotta ask a question. All right, her teammate kind of looked at her and said, "Nah, isn't that kind of Caitlin's fault though?"
I don't know. Caitlin might be a biatch. I don't know.
I mean,
don't know.
'cause that doesn't
she
seem-
might. They might not like her. She might not be likable on teams. I have no idea.
Something about that doesn't make sense to me.
I think there's some, to my man's point, there's some jealousy in this. Absolutely, even from her teammates. Even from her teammates.
I really hate that.
I'm talking about. Damn it! Why I can't remember her name right now.
Somebody put it Aaliyah Boston.
Aaliyah Boston. Thank you, Eric. She got drafted first last year. Went to the national. No, got beaten in the semifinals. But was the player of the year last year. Got drafted first last year. None of this hype. None of this following. None of this. She's on her team now. She might feel a way. And as a human being, I get it. But what I'm saying is, sometimes you got to put silly shit aside and say, what's happening right now, what she's bringing, and for whatever reason, attention she's getting, it helps all of us. It helps all of us. And again, I'm not saying lay down for the girl. I'm not saying don't compete hard. I'm not saying don't knock her ass down. I'm not saying none of that. But what I'm saying is that I agree with Stephen A. on this point. High waters rise all boats. You got to figure out how to ride this wave. And she gets little negative knocks in the media from players somewhat consistently. And I just don't think it makes sense.
But we got to look at the whys, right? Because this isn't the first. Granted, she is the most. What is wrong with Renita? You think NBA? You ain't really jealous.
Don't read that. Don't read that. Do not read that out loud.
Oh my God! Wait. Oh, okay. Renita is on fire today.
I told you not to read that out loud. Anyway, go ahead. Look, I threw you off, didn't it?
Yes, it did.
So, but to the point of your question, that's why I say sometimes these things can be short-sighted, and the media is biased. They are blowing her up.
Yeah, but the media is gonna go away eventually. They're not gonna keep pace with this forever.
But this is what I'm saying. This won't be a thing forever. Some folks that are casual fans are gonna lose interest.
Absolutely.
You're gonna gain some, right? You're gonna gain some folks that are gonna watch. The game was on yesterday, and I've been to Sky games. I've watched a couple here and there, but on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm kind of paying a little bit more attention now. You probably got me a little more invested
for a little 2 years?
I mean, I don't know how long it's gonna last, but you've got me invested at this moment. Let's ride that wave, because the media is gonna go away a little bit.
It's gonna go away. And here's another question, right? How long do we
a little
think
bit.
this fandom is going to last? I mean, obviously we don't have a crystal ball. We don't motherfucking know, right? But
I think players are gonna keep coming. Like I said, Juju's gonna come in next year, and it's gonna be another shot in the arm.
That was another one last year, little curly hair black girl.
Somebody else is gonna come in. It's gonna be another shot in the arm. I think they have converted some people that would have never paid attention into watchers and believers. Here's the problem. Folks ain't gonna like this. It depends on how you like, what style of play you like.
Okay.
The WNBA will never be above the rim. It'll never be all these ankle breaks. It'll never be these lob passes and dunks.
Well, why we gotta say never?
Not in our lifetime. More than likely.
Okay. Maybe not.
I'm not saying, because a couple of them can dunk, but I'm talking about like NBA type. And you're just not going to get, right now, enough men. You know what, to be honest?
There's a lot of fucking men that care right now. It could just be my timeline. I mean,
they here's the other thing. If we're being 100% frank, men like to debate and argue, particularly about sports. And they might have watched the game Saturday. And they might watch a couple other games here and there. But a lot of men, they're not even watching this shit.
Okay.
They're not. They're watching the clips. They're watching the highlights. They're watching First Take, and they're chiming in off that.
Oh, so they just watching enough to be able to debate each other?
Enough to debate each other. Hell, that ain't just with WNBA though. A lot of them do that shit with that's
hockey, soccer.
No, I'm talking
tennis.
I'm talking about football, basketball.
You don't. Wow, really?
A lot of these motherfuckers don't watch the games like they should be watching the games. They watch highlights, they watch clips, they hear what other people say, and they glob onto it.
I mean, I guess my one concern about all this like fanfare is that it's not going to grow, right? Because it's not anywhere at the NBA level.
Hey, see, I agree. I'm not saying that they don't break ankles. I'm saying it's not to the level of the NBA is what I'm saying, and that's what turns the men on.
Yeah, but the difference in watching the women is they're more aggressive than the men, right? Because the rules are different. The men can't fucking go over and step on each other and get away with that shit on fucking court, but the women can.
You want to be honest? You want more honesty here?
Nigga, I want you to lie to me. I want you to lie to me.
Men don't want to see that shit.
They don't want to see what?
Men don't want to see women knocking each other down and all that shit.
Y'all don't?
Mm-mm.
Y'all want to see us like in panties? Like
they don't.
Y'all want the jersey to turn into thongs?
Men don't. Let's be real. The LFL still around for a reason. The Lingerie Football League is still around. I don't know if everybody's out there.
They only play once a fucking year.
Don't matter.
Jesus Christ.
They're still around, ain't they?
Y'all not gonna watch that shit.
They not around. They play more than once a year.
They
I don't
do?
know what they do now, but they
exactly to my point.
They play
You
seasons.
don't know when the fuck they play. You know why? Because nobody really wants to watch bitches walk around and they run around and they all the time.
You never went to the Sears fucking stadium where they was playing.
No.
That's just because I knew people that were playing, so it was more interesting to me in the moment. But my point is, you said they could be more aggressive. Man, we don't even want to watch men have wrestling matches like they did in the 90s no more. Nobody want to see that shit. Well, a couple of people, but most people don't want to see that.
So what do y'all want to see?
Most men don't want to see women play sports, if I'm being 100% honest. They don't care if they play. They just don't really want to watch them. Maybe track during the Olympics. Maybe some gymnastics here and there.
That's a fucking hot take.
That's not hot.
That men don't want to watch.
That's not a hot take.
I'm waiting for the comments.
That's not a hot take.
Fucking Dennis.
That's not a hot take. The numbers bear that out.
Okay.
The reason
I don't disagree with you.
The reason that the WNBA isn't as big as the NBA is because men don't watch it and women don't watch it.
Maybe next time. He said, I have been producing NBA.
Yes, Paul, absolutely. Paul, you got to understand you're an anomaly, brother. Oh, you wanted to talk. My bad, Paul. We didn't have guests this time. But you're right. You would have been a good.
I didn't know that.
You would have been a good bring on.
We're watching a chick shoot for the logo, but the WNBA won't let her shoot. I don't know what he's saying.
Why are you reading Jamal's comments? Stop it. Jesus, you think you learned.
And apparently you're right. Niggas don't want to watch women play sports.
And it's not just men. I shouldn't even said it that way. People don't want to watch women play sports. Because y'all don't. If women supported women's leagues, like we support the men's, WNBA would be.
Now that's curious. I don't disagree with you. I actually completely agree with you. But why don't women want to watch women's sports?
I'm not a woman.
Is it because we're indoctrinated to believe that it can't possibly be as good because they don't have dicks?
Whoa. I don't know.
Have you met me?
Oh, I'm trying to calm you down.
Have we not met?
I'm trying to settle you down.
I'm not Angel Reese. I don't need no PR person. Yeah. No. I'm not being interviewed.
Only because you don't want to have a career in this. I mean, you got to answer. I just don't think the percentage of women that are as into sports as men is obviously lower.
It's a lot lower, yeah.
It's a smaller pool.
It wouldn't be enough to carry the WNBA.
It's a smaller pool. Actually, I disagree with that.
You think it's enough women watching sports to carry the WNBA?
Yes, I think if the women I knew that, particularly around football, that watch football as religiously as they would watch the WNBA, the WNBA would be in a much better place.
Maybe.
But they don't. I can't answer why.
I can't answer why either because I don't watch none of this shit.
Please don't get on here and be like, I do. I watch. Yes, you watch. But I'm talking about the percentage of women that I know that you can walk into a sports bar and have a halfway realistic conversation with them about football, right?
Let's think about this. Why is women's sports not as interesting, except for track apparently and tennis? Because y'all will watch some tennis and y'all will watch some track.
Oh yeah, I think
y'all don't watch soccer. Y'all don't watch softball.
Oh, we'll watch like the World Cup. I ain't watching soccer unless it's the World Cup. Period. So
y'all don't watch gymnastics.
I was just watching gymnastics, the U.S. Championships.
Were you flipping and you just happened to be on your phone?
Oh yeah.
Or were you like, oh, got to watch that Dominique Dawes. Let me turn it on this week. No, motherfucker.
No, you're right.
Exactly.
I had some tacos and I was flipping around and I caught it.
Get out of here.
But I watched it. Is what I'm saying.
Not like you do basketball. You like know the fucking.
No.
Exactly.
I think.
There's something to think about there.
I think that every year sports. Let's be honest. Gymnastics and like track and all that stuff is really every 4-year sports.
Okay.
Folks don't. I mean, it's year round. I mean, it's every year, obviously, but people get invested around the Olympics. It's kind of niche.
Fair.
So you have your dominant sports here in America because we grew up. That's what we grew up watching. Mm-hmm. And it kind of changed that, and then to change that in a female arena, it's just difficult.
No, I just think people don't watch it because of misogyny.
You think it's all misogynistic? Okay. Here.
I mean, if you keep it a buck, because I've heard these conversations like women's sports aren't as exciting. Women's sports aren't as exciting.
They aren't as athletic
because they don't dunk.
They're not above the rim. Their shooting's not as good most of the time. It's just not a better brand of basketball. Sometimes it is. They're more fundamentally sound a lot of times. They run screens and plays sometimes better, but overall, it's just not as good of a product because men are more athletic than women. That's just genetics, and it's not fair, but that's what it is.
I don't know if they're more athletic, differently athletic. But I mean, okay, fine.
They're fucking more athletic.
Let's say that's true, right? Then explain to me why women's the NCAA outpaced men's the Elite Eight.
Sure.
And that's all of it, right? Like not just Caitlin, not just Angel,
sure,
not just South Carolina.
Sure.
They were watching the entire Sweet 16 during that time. Was completely outpacing the men. Yeah.
This year, let me tell you why. The NCAA men's brackets have completely fallen off because they don't have stars. Because they have a whole bunch of one and dones. We don't know who the hell these people are.
Okay.
Right? You can name one person on every team, maybe if you're a true diehard fan. There's no casual interest anymore because NCAA men don't stay. You had 4 years to get to know Caitlin Clark. You had 4 years to get to know Angel Reese. You had the South Carolina team that was favorites one year and then won the next, and they're led by Dawn Staley, who was a known commodity, right? So that's why it got more. And to be honest, the games were just a little more interesting because you were more invested because, let's be frank, folks got on either Caitlin bandwagon or everybody else bandwagon.
I mean, there was lots of bandwagons. There was Juju bandwagon. There was a chick with the curly hair from, what the fuck is her name? I forget. There's a bunch of different names.
You have Shorty from Stanford.
The Brazilian chick that was on South Carolina.
Cardosa. I don't think anybody was particularly invested in Cardosa, but South Carolina as a team, sure. So there were storylines there because you got to watch these young ladies grow and compete and come into their own over years. And you just don't have that in the men's brackets anymore.
Do we predict that could happen in the NBA?
And hold on,
because these are the next generation of NBA.
Wait. And let's be 100% frank.
This is the 100% frank.
The media blew up Caitlin Clark, and it got eyeballs on it that otherwise were not on it because she was white and shooting from the logo. 2 years ago, I'm on this. I'm on this. I never watched any of this shit. I didn't. It didn't really interest me. Every blue moon, I'd go to a Sky game, and it was cool, whatever. But I was seeing her clips on SportsCenter and blah, blah. I was like, damn. And I started, and I didn't watch any of the regular season games. Maybe if I was at a bar and it was on. But I purposefully tuned in the NCAA tournament 2 years ago.
To start watching her.
Specifically to watch her. I did.
Is this a sign of maybe what could happen to the NBA and WNBA in the future? I mean, if you have these no-name boys, because they boys in my mind, because they the ones going to the NBA. You said there are no superstars, right? So that means
nobody that can get drafted stays around to not get drafted.
But even the ones that were drafted, y'all have no idea who the fuck they are.
Because they were there a year.
That's
a lot
my
of
point.
the times. Yeah.
So they're drafting a bunch of people who are no names. They may turn into superstars, they may not. But the WNBA is drafting superstars. Is it possible that what we saw? Well, I mean, Caitlin Clark. I mean, what's a superstar? Somebody who gets a lot of media attention, right? You got Angel Reese, you got Caitlin Clark, superstar. I don't know what you want me to say.
I think this is probably an anomaly.
You think this will not carry over? This will not continue?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so.
You think the no-name boys will eventually become names and then start
They always do.
performing?
They
I
always
don't
do.
know if that's true. People, LeBron James was known in college. Did he go to college?
He didn't go to college.
Or high school. Sorry, my bad.
You're talking about 23 years ago.
Okay.
21 years ago, whatever it was.
Well, I don't watch it now, so I can't name anybody new.
This is what I'm saying.
So I got nothing.
Eventually, these kids we never heard of turn into superstars. Eventually. Not all of them, obviously, but some of them. And then you got the foreign-born players that a lot of us never heard of because they in fucking Lithuania. Of course we ain't never heard of them. They come over here. They turn into superstars. So they'll always be superstars in the NBA, and the NBA will carry itself because they'll always, no matter where they got drafted, no matter where they come from, they'll be superstars. Caitlyn and Angel are anomalies. I think Juju might carry it over a little bit. I think this is the perfect storm to what Miss Taylor, little cute ass, was saying earlier. I
need you to focus.
I am focused on them. Anyway, it was a perfect storm. You got a villain. You got Snow White. You know what I'm saying? They both could ball in their respective teams. They played the string out. They've met twice. Like, it was just this perfect storm. Black versus white. That's why they keep saying Larry Bird versus Magic. Caitlyn might be Larry Bird. Angel ain't no Magic. But
does she have to be Magic?
She doesn't. I'm saying it's not the best comparison, but I get why it's a comparison. Black versus white is polarizing a little bit, and it brings eyeballs to the set. You were not going to have that 5 years from now, more than likely. You probably just won't.
I don't know. I mean, to Derek's point, right? It should be if the WNBA was to get smart and market Clark and Reese like Bird and Magic. Now, I don't know how the NBA marketed them because I was far too young to like pay attention at that point. When it was a Larry Bird and a Magic Johnson, I don't know. The only thing I remember is they were friends.
But Derek, they're already doing that. They're already marketed that way.
Are they doing it the same way though?
Well, here's the difference.
Or is the media doing it? Because that's different than the WNBA doing it.
No, when the WNBA is highlighting games and stuff, they like this game Saturday. They pushed really, really, really hard.
Okay.
But to Derek's point, I think what he's saying is they should be doing like commercials together and stuff like that. I agree. I mean,
have only been there 5 minutes. So.
Yeah, so they got time for this. Agreed. They played 10 games maybe.
Exactly.
So they got time for this. But to your question, Derek, yes, I think if they're smart, they will, and they probably will. Throw up Eric's comment, that one right above it. Eric, to your point, you talking about y'all don't tune in. If y'all don't tune in to watch Juju and Paige.
Paige, that's what it was. I couldn't think
tripping.
of it.
Yeah, you're right. They'll be tripping because they won't. I think some people do it. Eric is I won't say diehard. I won't label him diehard, but he is a WNBA fan. He's a college women's basketball fan. In your eyes, I see why you're saying that. To the casual fan, they don't know who Paige Buckner and Florida Johnson.
I know who the fuck Paige is. I don't
Probably because you got a man in the house that watch some of this shit. I don't know. What I'm saying is the casual fan don't know. Juju maybe. The rest of them, they don't know, and they won't care. And and you can say they're tripping, but that's the reality of it.
But Caitlyn didn't come into Iowa being like, ooh, Caitlyn Clark. She built up that reputation and put eyeballs on her. Who's to say Paige? Juju already has that, right? Who's to say Paige next year when she comes back, wherever she lands, won't start building that same hype for herself or whoever comes behind Juju and so on and so forth and carry that legacy forward.
Is she white?
I don't know. Somebody's going to be white in that motherfucker because most of those schools have white girls on their basketball teams.
Are these better players white? They're not. I'm going to ask the question for you. They're not.
Well, Juju.
Juju's not white.
A lot. She's not white?
Jesus Christ. This is what I'm saying right here. This is the point I'm saying right here.
I think I have somebody else in my brain.
Because Paige kept getting hurt. Agreed.
That's not the white girl with the straight hair?
Juju, no. You talking about Paige.
Oh. I had them totally
Paige.
confused.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she kept getting hurt. So she that fucked her up. So she might, but even ESPN don't push her like that. It didn't before. I don't know what it is about Caitlyn's style that brought ESPN and these other media outlets to it, but they did. And I don't see them pushing anyone else like they pushed her, and that's gonna hurt the league.
I don't see why you would think they wouldn't try to rep. You are a marketing person. You know how the cycle works. They're going to make somebody else the brand new Caitlyn.
ESPN? Nah, they're good here. They did it. On to the next.
That's my point.
Not on to the next WNBA player. On to the next story.
I don't know. I think they're going to be looking for it.
She was already there, to Eric's point. She was already there.
Who? Oh, because...
Paige, she was already there.
Yeah, yes, she was.
She was the player of the year before
Caitlyn
Clark. And you didn't hear shit about her if you didn't know the league.
That's true.
Something about Caitlyn was a lightning rod.
Oh, that's unfortunate. I hate that that's not going to
And I could be wrong, but I don't see it.
I mean, are we really trying to say
It's going to be
they
better.
Gotta be white. They just gotta be.
From
There will never be another Cheryl Miller.
From white media's perspective, yes. That's all.
We're talking about sports though. Like the number of superstar NBA players. Tell me a white one.
Luka Doncic.
And how
Nikola
many more
Jokic.
are there?
These probably maybe the two best players in the league right now are slow white European dudes.
Yeah, but how many black ones can you name?
I can name a lot of both of
Exactly.
them.
That's my point.
I can name a lot of both of them, but it's the NBA, so it's different.
But I guess what I'm trying to say is, at one point the NBA was white, a whole lot of white players,
Sure.
with a whole lot of names.
Sure.
Eventually, it transitioned to all these black players,
Sure.
with a whole lot of names.
Sure.
Why can't that happen for the WNBA? Granted, it's already black, so they can't
Who's
transition to black.
who's converting over to watching and spending dollars consistently enough to make it that way? I don't see that.
Apparently not y'all, because y'all are
that's
misogynists.
Here we go with the misogyny shit.
Because of the patriarchy, that's why.
I don't disagree.
You serious?
I don't disagree.
I mean, I think there is some misogyny steeped in there why you all are not as into the WNBA as you are in the NBA.
There's some
would say that.
patriarchy and misogyny in why we can't even have these conversations about these ladies in a way we can have
For
them about
sure.
men. And men feed into this, and it's hilarious to watch women buy into it.
Because I don't think people know how to communicate. People don't know how to give communication. They don't know how to receive it. Absolutely. I agree.
And it's not even that. It's
No, it is.
It's partially that. And partially is this whole pick a side. I don't want to hear shit out that don't support my side.
Well, yeah. That's everything, though.
That's social media killing.
Like Harold's and Uncle Remus. It's either one or the other. Can't like both.
You shouldn't like Uncle Remus. That
You shouldn't like either of the motherfuckers. They
Sauceless.
gross. They're both yucky there.
we not even.
Yeah.
We got a final question here. I'm sure we got one thing we didn't. Did we not touch?
The
Something
only
we didn't
thing
touch
we've
on.
touched on, I mean, how does race play a part in it? But we've kind of danced.
I mean,
on that.
we already talked about this.
There's not really anything we didn't discuss. Not really. Unless there's something else you want to add. Since this
No.
clearly is about interviewing Brian Foster. This is the second. What did you call it last week? Should they get on your nerves?
Should they get on my fucking nerves?
This is part two.
Should they grind my
get on
gears?
your nerves.
But this is akin to the whole you can't debate a woman bullshit. Like, just because I say that girl need to get to the gym, do some plyometrics because she can't dump over $1 bill, and that shit she did in college ain't working, or she needs some better interviewing skills, polish up a little bit. I'm not saying sell out. I'm not saying be like, oh, sugar, sugar, sugar. I'm saying there's little tweaks. Y'all trying to control a little young black girl.
Well, you kind of are.
I'm
Just
trying
saying.
to help a little young black girl.
I control that little.
I ain't trying to
With
control.
these
She can do that.
respectability
Look,
politics.
That's what my man said.
I knew what it was. I was just-
Respectability
Respectability
politics. The fuck out of here. It's misogyny politics. And men play into it and women because that's what they want to believe, because that's how they feel. Y'all roll right into it.
It
Y'all
depends
roll
on what you
right
say.
into it. This is shit women do. Whatever
Oh,
whatever
what?
the patriarchy does that benefits you, you in. When it don't, you out.
That's fucking everybody. We
But
not.
especially y'all.
That's grossly untrue. But anyway, what about the white dude that called Caitlyn a bitch or a white bitch? Now I didn't see the clip, but I've seen lots and lots of commentary on it.
So, one, Pat McAfee, his whole show screams redneck. I don't know how people watch this shit. This screaming dude in a tank top that used to punt. Not my thing.
He used to be a kicker.
He was a punter, yeah.
Oh.
I honestly have not seen the clip. From what I've read, clearly it was. No, I take that back. I did see the clip. Yeah, had he not been a white man that owned his own show, he'd be off air.
I think if he had just said bitch, it wouldn't have been nearly as big of a thing. He was
shoulda
like
said-
white bitch.
He should have said that shit anyway. But he was trying to make a point, and based on what he was saying, people say, here's the other thing. Watch the whole interview. I saw the whole goddamn interview with Angel Reese. I know what she said. People didn't watch the whole interview with him either. Based on what he was saying, I get where he was going. It's just terribly inappropriate.
He also needs PR.
And Jesus Christ, he needs a lot more than that. But only because he owns his own show, you can't fire him. But they should have pulled him.
I mean, you can be fired. Your listeners can fire you.
I mean, I'm saying ESPN can't fire him. They can pull the show off air.
Yes.
Though.
I mean, would they though? Look at fucking Fox News. Like, if Fox News can exist, he can call her a white bitch on national TV.
Sure, on
totally
Fox News, goddamn, ESPN's supposed to have a higher standard than this.
Are they?
They
Shit.
Yeah.
I
They're
don't know about
supposed to.
that. I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that.
What
I didn't have no feelings about it because I was just like, I don't care.
Oh, what if you called her a black bitch?
See,
Not
there's
him.
no way to say
Not
that.
him. Not him.
Shannon Sharp.
He's
there's
white. What if Shannon Sharp had said it?
There is no way to say that to come off loving. It's just not. I don't give a shit how Shannon or Ocho or Emmanuel or anybody else would have been said black bitch. He could have said girl after it or sis.
That's a
It wouldn't have
bad
mattered.
black bitch. That girl she's an amazing player. That's a bad black bitch.
I mean, I can hear it,
Mm-hmm.
but I think just media would fucking eat you alive. There's no way to say that lovingly.
Talk about privilege.
Yes, we can call each other bitches.
No. His privilege.
Who? Oh, him?
Yeah.
Well, fucking duh.
I'm just saying.
We just had a whole conversation about
You
Caitlyn.
brought it up. I'm just fucking talking about it.
Yeah.
He should be off air. He should be off air because he sucks. But he definitely should be off air because of the
I mean, he
commentary.
did apologize. Doesn't that matter?
Sure, I guess. I guess.
Like, shouldn't that
I
count
guess.
for something?
But I think that's the underlying as we start to wrap this up. That's the underlying current here that folks don't want to acknowledge that I want to bring to the table. All of this is an undercurrent, as most things are in this country, of race. Most folks are invested not because of the sport, not because of the play, not because they want to see WNBA sisters win. They don't really give a shit about that. It's all this undercurrent of race, and they don't like that this white girl's getting propped up and this black girl's getting villainized. And I get it. As a black man, I 100% get it. But let's be real and honest and have that conversation, and let's stop all this other bullshit you're trying to cloak it in. Let's stop it. Let's just say, I got the black girls back. Fuck that white bitch, as Pat McAfee would say. And the ones that and just because you like Caitlin Clark, which I do, I enjoy watching her shoot them fucking 30-foot threes, don't mean that I'm some sellout motherfucker that don't like the rest of it.
Are people really saying that because you like
No,
Katie?
I'm not saying
Okay.
that. But what's funny to me is if black men defend her in any way, shape, or form.
Oh yeah. Sorry. I'm sorry. History has dictated that certain things, if you do it, you just gonna be labeled a sellout, and it's just what it is.
well,
and it's y'all fault, but I
I
digress.
enjoy. Whose fault is it?
That's a whole nother podcast.
Wait, whose fault is
Y'all
it?
affinity for white women is why y'all can't support white women. Sorry.
So I can't appreciate a white woman and love my sisters. Is it either or?
According to social media, no.
I'm according to Sean.
I have never been of the belief that if you marry outside,
I'm not
if you
even talking
marry
about
the other,
marry.
well,
I'm
I
not
mean,
even talking about
it's
marry.
all in the same space, right? If in your romantic, like you're with an other, I've never believed that you can't be for your people. I've never believed that. But I also can recognize there are a lot of people who feel differently, and I can kind of see their perspective. I can see their point. Like, we're not good enough for you to even bed or be with, but you support us? Can you really? I think it's a valid question. I don't necessarily agree, but I think it's valid.
It's a question. You said bed. I think they bed you. Well, they wed you.
Oh, wed or whatever. You be with this person. Can you then be for your people? I think it's a valid question. We've seen it where some people can. Most of the time, we see that you can't.
You're right. That's a whole other podcast.
That's what this is.
I wanted to get you where you were going with that.
Yeah.
But just because I support a 30-foot shooting,
But it's the
and
same
I support,
thing.
like I don't even like support. I don't give a shit about her.
But how can't you see that? And we're gonna end this. How can't you see that in people's minds? That's they connect those dots.
They conflate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it, and that's why I have this show on this platform sometimes to break some of these stupid ass narratives. I get what you're saying. It's fucking dumb.
I can see it though. I can see it.
It's dumb. Just because, and it was funny is they miss everything else. So when Caitlyn did this shit,
Just notice I was trying to wrap up and this nigga.
no, we're not niggas. When Caitlyn did this shit, I was like, that was kind of low class. That was some bullshit. When she elbowed somebody the other day on another team, I was like, but nobody like that post get that comment get like 2 fucking things. If I say something about Angel Reese though, I'm equal opportunity, people.
She's a darling.
I critique everybody.
It's like Michael Jordan. Well, not quite, but you get my point. Can't say nothing about Michael Jordan.
And to your point earlier, they're all young. They
10
all
years old.
just came off the college season, right? So they didn't get barely any training camp, any rest, any off time in the summer,
Which is weird to me, but
to work
anyway.
with folks. I mean, that's just you can't have the WNBA season going on while the regular NBA season going on. It just won't work.
I get it. Still weird.
So with a complete off season with training with their professional teams and all that, I 100% think Angel and all the rest of these rookies will be, particularly I'm talking about Angel, will be a lot better because they'll have the training camp.
I just think we need to give them to next year. And then
next
start
year to what?
critiquing them and start critiquing them.
No,
but they're gonna be completely different players by next season.
And I agree that they didn't have the time to a whole off season to kind of train and blah blah blah. But we don't give this pause or this excuse to NBA players their rookie season. We dissect their games all year and project forward or project backwards or whatever you want to say. You can't have it both ways, ladies. You can't want to have the shine and the eyeballs and the discussions and to be all glowing and positive. That's not how the world works. If you want to play in the big leagues, if you want to be on NBA level, you're going to get some criticism. You're going to get some critique. You're going to hear some shit you don't like. Fans of the game, you're going to hear some shit you don't like. And as long as it's not some far off-putting, off-brand, uninformed bullshit, you can't be mad about it.
I disagree.
That's
You can
what
cry.
comes with success.
I disagree. You can cry. Cry them white girl tears. Shit.
Well, don't cry my way, because I'm going to talk shit about your ass.
I say, use all your feminine wiles. Cry and be a bitch all at the same time.
Of course you do.
Of course, shit. Fuck it. Why not?
And I'm saying brothers don't fall for that bullshit.
But you will.
But we will.
I'm sorry. All right. We're done with your rant.
Sure, I wasn't ranting. I was just informing the people.
That was a little ranty.
What a rant.
It was ranty.
Go Chicago Sky.
But we'll be back next week talking about something.
Something. We'll figure it out.
I still think we need to talk about Project 2025. We need to get some people in gear to talk about
You were
it.
supposed to be doing that this week.
I know. Jamal failed me, but I digress.
That Jamal?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Anyway, y'all, have a good rest of the week. Enjoy the weekend. We'll see you right back here. Same bad time, same bad channel. Talk to you then.
Podcast. In the zone. 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 Podcast. In the zone.